The assumption artist. This person skips the context. You assume that everybody sees things the exact way you do. I just assume that people knew about this and knew this happened in the economy and so on. And oftentimes you leave half or more of your audience behind. So don't assume too many things about the context. Solution, understanding dies in the gap between what you know and what they know. So provide necessary context in order to help prevent misunderstandings. Don't become the assumption artist. The fourth communication problem is the perfectionist postponer. This person waits. I mean, oftentimes perfectionists end up procrastinating, right? You're waiting for the perfect word to say at the board meeting, but then the opportunity passes you by. And ultimately, your silence becomes your legacy because you're never going to have the perfect words to say. So don't become such a procrastinator, such a perfectionist that you never say what needs to be said. The solution, the email that never was sent helps nobody. The idea never shared changes nothing. Develop the skill to have respectful, direct conversations when needed, even when those conversations are uncomfortable, and even when you know they're not going to be perfect. You're never going to say the perfect thing, but go ahead and take that leap and say something, right? The overcomplicated explainer. I often fall into this one as well. You dive into every detail. The main point gets buried. No one sees the forest because you spent so much time looking at every tree. And maybe people remember your tangents or the funny story that you told, but not your central message, not your big idea. So be careful not to be overcomplicated when you explain. The solution, the truth doesn't need 5 paragraphs of defense, right? A quick conversation is often better than a lengthy message. Be short and sweet and to the point, and people will actually probably remember it better. The credibility crusher, you lead with your resume, not your insight. You stack up your credentials, hoping to build trust that way. But often, what happens when you do that is you're actually creating distance from your audience because a lot of them now feel like, wow, I can't even relate to this person. Don't try to impress people so much with your background rather than just simple, plain speech connecting with your audience.